Alright guys, NMRC here with you guys. It's October, almost my son's birthday. Got this kit. Ordered it like a month ago and no instructions, but I figured I'd do a build video on this kit and you can get it on eBay. I'll show the link right now. There you go. That's how much it currently is at this time of filming. But I'm going to build this step by step, and you guys can go along with me figuring out where everything goes. Kind of have a general idea of stuff. Sorry, my son. Of where everything goes, but we'll work through it together. Carbon rails. There's the hardware, battery straps, rear axle, bulkhead, front shock hoops, rear shock hoops, bumper mounts, lower control arms. Who knows what that is? Upper, rear trailing arms, links, shocks. Comes with that fill cell right here, but I think I'll use this SSD, more scale looking fill cell instead for it. And yeah, we'll go from there with the build process. Alright guys, we're gonna start the build. I'm gonna start with the C-hub / knuckle right here. Let me get it in the light for you guys better. But we're going to do this whole arm, trailing arm, and some link. I forgot what the heck it's called right now. And then we'll put the wheel hex, the axle shaft stub, and all that on there. And I'll show you how you go about doing so. I just wanted to show you this is how it looks complete. And then we'll build one. And I got it all lined up right here. Alright, and keep in mind I'm going to try and do this all with one hand. So this kit definitely didn't come so far with one thing, which is that little screw that screws into your hex, your wheel hex right there. But luckily I have that SCX 10-2 screw kit, so I was good there. So if you're a builder, you'll have screws, whether you buy that or from old rigs that you've taken apart or different builds. But it's just best to buy the screw kits. That way, if you run into a Chinese kit like this or even a name brand kit, you are good to go. You always have a screw that you may need. So you pop that in the knuckle here. And this is way hard with thing one hand. Holy Toledo. No, and I don't have a phone thing to hold up my phone and stuff like that, but you get the gist of it. You just pop it in there like that. Your back bearing, you slide on that shaft first, then pop it in this C-hub. Then you get your little bearing like that, and you pop it in there like that. I'm going to just use the bearings that come in the kit that aren't sealed bearings. I have sealed bearings, but I don't feel like digging all through that to find the proper sizes for it. But anyway, that's how you get that in the C-hub. Then you got your little pin right there for the wheel hex. Man, I really need to find a way to have a phone stand for you guys here. I'm gonna pause it and see if I can set up a phone stand out of something. Alright guys, I figured out a stand for you guys, so let's get this in the frame here. And then here's your wheel hex. So let's see, this is the little screw right here that I'm talking about that goes in your wheel hex that they didn't provide. So you got this bad boy, and you'll see the little hole right there. See the hole right there? So you'll just stick your wheel hex pin right in the little hole like that. And you slide it, eyeball it where it's in the middle. Then you see it has grooves right there to lock it in. Just slide it over like that, bang, hold the back of that, and then get your screw and clamp your wheel hex shut so this can't slide out like that. And just tighten the heck out of it. There we go. So see, just put it in there like that, and then that little line, that crease, it clamps it. Make sure you use short enough screws right there so they don't stick out and then you can't get your wheel on, your beadlock wheels on, or whatever wheel you're using on that puppy. So there's your knuckle with the stub axle shaft. And yes, over here I have a little OCD. I organized all my screws and sizes and whatnot. So anyway, there's that. And then so then what we do is we'll grab this arm here. Oops, let me get that out of the way. We'll grab this I-beam right here, and then you see how it has a groove. Well, this basically link or trailing arm for the front goes in that keyway right there, see? So you'll have this I-beam, and then you got to make sure this goes on like this. It doesn't go on like that. Make sure this hoop there goes sticking up along with that, because that's where your shock mounts is to that. So you can just set that guy like that, you know what I mean? And then you grab your screw, stick that in there. You do use Loctite. I'm just demonstrating on how to put this kit together. I will use Loctite, but you just run that puppy in there. And that's why I organize all the screws, so I can see which one's the longest to shortest and stuff. That way I don't run it in too deep and use the wrong screw, you know what I'm saying? But that's essentially how you want it to look, like that right there. Just like that, boom. And then now we'll bring the knuckle back into play here. And your knuckle's gonna sit just like that on it. You know what I mean? Boom. So to accomplish this, you'll need a little brass thing like this. You'll need 2 of them. I'll set one sideways, see how that looks. So you'll set one through the top like that, and you'll set one through the bottom, coming up through here to the bottom, how that's sitting. You'll just set this like that when you put it on your I-beam. So you just push that up, slide your I-beam in there. And since I got my screws organized, I can just pop that puppy in there. Get the hole lined up here. And then you just grab your tool and run it down in there. And of course, use Loctite on probably every bit of this kit besides where it takes a nut. And then I'll just flip it around like that. Put that guy in there like that. Yep. And then grab my other screw. And then you put Loctite and then put it in. tighten it down. And then how I know I'm using the right screws, see how they're not sticking out in that gap here? That's how you know you're using the right screws. You know what I mean? That's why I organized all that crap, so I wouldn't have to worry about that. Okay, so now we gotta get the link, tie rod link. So you'll have a bag with all, let me move this out of the way. You'll have a bag with all these, plus that one right here and there. So you have 4. This is only for the front end only, because you have a set of just 2 by themselves, and that's for the rear, for the upper link mounts on the rear of it that go to the top of your rear axle housing for the pinion angle of your drive shaft. All right, so you get that guy. You'll get, in my kit, a black spacer, plastic spacer, and then now I just gotta figure out what screws long enough for it, like I did this other side here. Okay, got it. So you'll set this guy in first, no washer, and then you'll put your spacer on there, and your link, and then of course a nut that will fit on your screw. Just put it on there like that, and then you'll tighten it down. And then as you can see, I use the right one because this one, it's not sticking out all far way past it. And that's how you build your I-beam, twin I-beam, trailing arm, C-hub, and tire rod link end or drag link, whatever they want to call it. All right, next step. All right, guys, part 2 of this, or whatever, section 2. We got these weird looking trailing arm attachment deals on here with the shock. So I compared this shock to all the rest of these shocks, and they're all the same length and stuff. They are aluminum bodied with plastic rod ends and stuff, but this is all aluminum, no oil in them, or at least it doesn't feel like it. I'll probably put like 20 weight so it's real soft, maybe 30. Usually I run 30 weight in my crawlers, and then they give you different spring rates, or softer springs maybe, or stiffer, I don't know. But this is essentially how it's going to look with this half of the axle built. It does have plastic black spacers, so you gotta keep in mind, see their different lengths and heights and stuff like that. So you need those ones right there. And so I'm gonna begin putting this together, this side, for you guys in the video as best as I can, hopefully. Oh, sorry, my hand's in the way trying to set up the phone better. This go around and stuff, so we'll see how this goes. All right, so grab your trailing arm, have it facing upward, just like that. See, just like that. And then some of these, crap, I forget what they're called. These little eyelet balls get stuck in there, so I just get a pair of needle nose and work it around so it's movable and stuff. So we'll start with this in here, and you can set it wherever you want. to be honest, on any three of these holes right here. That's what it's for. So you'll set your screw in there. You'll set your nylon washer dill in there, and then hold it like that. It's going to be upside down because I'll have this upside down so you can see it. Then you set your trolling arm there, and then now you got to get the other nylon washer spacer dill in there too. So you got to kind of back your screw out, hopefully enough to get that puppy in there. Oh, or not. Yeah, this is definitely hard. There's no way I can do this with one hand and holding the phone like how I do with crawling. Oh my gosh, that doesn't want to get in there. Alright, once you get that in there like that, oh no. But once you get it in there, essentially, this side just slides in. The other side is threaded. You don't need a nut. It's threaded on that side. So I just go like that with it, tighten it up like that. Boom, there you go. No nut needed. The screw ain't sticking out all crazy. So that's done there. And then let me angle you guys a little bit better here. So now we'll go ahead and attach this arm onto the link. So you got a couple holes here, right? Let me move you guys over a little bit. So as you can see, you got a couple holes all over right here. But it wants you to put in this top set right here. So that's what we're gonna do. And then you put that, and you'll need a nut, a nylon locking nut for that. And you'll need needle nose pliers to be able to hold the nut as you're tightening it down with your Allen wrench. So let me set it like that. So it'll go in this top hole with the axle housing the standard way, where the top link mounts go on top. And then you just tighten it up like that. And then we'll go ahead and throw our other upper link up here on here. Set it in here. Get a really long screw. You'll need a nut for that one also. So put that on. Then you can use your lug wrench, cross wrench, whatever you want to call it, from all your RTR rigs that you bought, maybe. Just put that on there and tighten that bad boy up for your upper links on the top of the rear end. And it'd probably be smart to take this rear diff cover off and see if it has grease in there, but I'm not going to do that right now because I'm not going to be driving it soon. And then you got 3 positions, as you guys can see here, for the shocks, to mount the shock wherever you want. So that can be up to you. I'm just going to go right in the middle for now. And you'll need a nut for the shock as well to mount the shock, like so. Then you get your little cross wrench and Allen wrench, like that. And you can put that puppy on there like that. So if you're using a nylon nut, you don't need to put thread lock on your screw if you're using a nylon nut on the other side to keep the screw on. But it's only when you're putting it into brass or aluminum or metal, not even plastic. So you're good there. So this is what your rear end slash trailing arm slash whatever the hell these are, trailing arm mounts, I would call them, is all how it's supposed to look, like that. And then see what I'm saying? They have that mount like that. Then if you flip the axle upside down, see how it has those mounts. So I don't know what those are about, but maybe if you want to narrow it up or something, I don't know. But that's where they're going at on mine. And that's how it should look, and that's how the rear end will sit, is like that. Alright, next step. Alright, this step, we get the frame and get the rear mounted on, the skid on there, and we'll go from there with the center cross brace and shock mount, and I'll show you how to get that on there. Alright, get this flipped around for you guys real quick. Alright, get the other frame rail piece. I'll go ahead and slide this down in here like so. Alright, so you got this. You'll have this screw go through with the thinner black spacer on this side, and this one with the shorter screw. If I can hold on to the screw here. It's the screw first, then the nylon washer that goes between this and your frame. There we go. Try and get an up close view. Then you'll need these little guys right here to screw the frame to your skid plate slash transmission mount. And they'll go on the inner holes like that. And they're the small screws into your skid plate. There we go. Only takes two. If I can grab this stupid tiny screw like that. Maybe if it'll let me. There we go. Alright. Oops. Mixing up my screws. Alright. So now it's time to thread these into there. It won't be golden. Oh my gosh, this stupid nylon one. I'll just get one screw in at a time. So I'll get this front one with this screw like that. I'll go in that big front hole that's tapered looking right into your skid plate. I'll just barely run it in, not tight. Elijah, your brother's asleep.
Daddy?
Elijah, what? Sorry guys. What, boy? I'm making a video right now, buddy.
That?
Yes. What? Your brother's asleep, dude. What? Huh? Sorry, guys. Had to put my boy to sleep. You wanted Dada to put him to sleep. And then we got these two tapered screws like that for your shock mount back here. And I have them on the very furthest front hole on the rear of the frame here. You can go further back, but I want my shocks to be angled, so I'm not. That's why I went to the furthest point forward for it. Run that in, and you'll get a long screw like that for your shock. Wow, they messed up that pivot ball. Okay. Then you'll get one of those aluminum spacers. Stick that on there. Just like that. And I'll put it in the furthest forward hole in the shock mount. Which I'll show you here in a second. Okay. Like that right there. Just like that. That's how I'm going to have it. Now I'll show you how to mount that link right there that's dangling around. You'll need a screw with a nut, and it'll go right through this piece right here. This long piece, just like this one right here. So I'll show you that. And grab one of these long boys right here. Maybe even longer. Yeah, I need a longer one. Alright, hopefully this is long enough. Probably not. Oh man. There we go. Yep, not long enough. Huh. Oh. My bad. Here's that super long one. And I shove it through. And you shove your link right on it like this. So I can get it to, there we go, center the axle. And then you just get a nylon locking nut. And throw that puppy on there like that. Get your wrench and your Allen wrench and crank it down. And they made those really long for some reason. Alright. So there's the whole rear end like that. With the skid plate attached. Your center section brace attached. / battery mount tray. Shock towers, blah blah blah. I might move these to the very back hole right here on my trailing arms. But these shocks are pretty smooth for how cheap it is. It feels definitely springy though. That's how you mount that. Those upper links. Bang bang. And those little screws there on the inside like that. Like that. And those on comes with the nylon spacers go on the outside like that. Oh wow, you can shorten the wheelbase a little bit by moving that in. Nice. Cool. Or to bring your pitch angle, your drive shaft up higher by moving that. Next step will be probably the front end, and then I'll do the battery tray and bumper mounts, etc. Alright guys, assembling the front end. So we got this one section on here. This pivots. Just gotta move with the suspension, shock hoop, the brace, bumper mount. Got the rear battery tray in with the rear bumper mount. So it's not this bumper mount. The rear one has like a hoop thing that bolts into the battery tray right there. And then you set it how it's flat like that on the top. See how it has those little hangers on the bottom of it right there? That's how you put it, like that. And then, so here's the front. We'll get that flipped around and start doing the other side. Alright. Oh. So I gotta grab this. Grab my last shock. Get all this stuff out of the way real quick. Alright, so hopefully you guys can see that pretty well as I go to assemble it. Dang, there's not enough room. I got too much stuff up here. This dang freaking table here. There we go. That might work. That might not work. Alright, so what I'll do is I'll take this side and we'll put it on there. So I set this into the skid plate, this end, put it in the skid plate here. Kind of have it at an angle for you guys to see it. Goes in right there. That. Have to set it back up though so I can put the screw in. So this one will go to that side. Pop the screw in. That. Right. Next we'll do the shock tower. So this mounting servo mount has 3 screws along the side. You'll use the last 2 on the frame, which is right there, boom, and boom, for the shock hoop. The shock hoop only goes on one way. See how it's grooved? And that side's not. It curves with the frame. You put the groove side onto the frame. Then you line up your holes. down like that. And I'll go ahead and get my shock out. So you get your shock, you'll get one of those aluminum guys there, another one there, like that. It'll take two, so one up here, off the standoff on the shock hoop, right there at the bottom hole towards the back of the chassis. So you put your screw to the shock eyelet first, and then actually I need a longer screw than that. There we go. Then you put your aluminum spacer on your screw like that. And then you put it in your shock hoop. That way it gives it the correct spacing to meet the trailing arm. Take your shock like that again. Your screw first, then your aluminum spacer, and then you put it into the arm like so. Oh, but don't drop it. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. All right. Alright, so now it's time to do the I-beam support bracket, if you will, on this side right here and right here. So now that we have it like that, there's these little tiny bearings right here that come in the kit. You know, let me move the rig so you can actually see it, maybe. It's tiny little bearings. You'll have these little end caps, two of them together, and this goes right inside there on this one. And then you'll have your pin right here. Then this other little bearing right here will go into this part of your shock hoop right here at the front of it, right in there, that little bulge right there, right next to where the screw's at. It goes right inside, right in there. Man, I wish that box wasn't there, but that's how that goes. And then this has to go like that. So see how this is shaped? The other one, as you can see over there, is shaped differently, how it has two notches instead of one big one in the middle. So this will go in there like that, just like that, like an L, with this facing up. Then you'll take your pin, clean the dirt off of it, slide your pin into this thing like that, and you'll set that. Oh, I'll have to use two hands. I wanted to use one so you guys could see it go right in there, but I gotta hold it because it slides off. you just pop that pin all the way in there like that, and then take that, you turn it because it's curved. That's universal. You can put it on either side, either one of them. They're not a directional. And then you see that tiny little hole right there. See that tiny little hole for the bumper mount, like the rear? That hole is going to be bypassed. You're going to use the other hole right there behind this. I'll take a regular size screw, not a tiny one. So I pop that all back on. And you'll need a nut for the other side for the second hole after you do this first one right here. Sorry, my big old hand's in the way. So you'll screw that in, not all the way, leave it loose so you can have adjustment to line up that other hole, which it isn't perfect, but for some reason these holes on this spot on the other side weren't perfect for it to go in there, so you just gotta like make it screw through the carbon so it'll go all the way through there to put a nut on the other side of it. So I'll screw that all the way in. Now I'll tighten up this front one like so. There we go. And then nut. Oh no, you can't see it from the bottom. Let me turn around so you can see on this side that we already have done. The nut is on there right there. So that's where you got to put a nut at, is on that screw right there. Just like that. Right. Everything's just in the way right now. No bueno. Alright, I'll get my lug wrench. If I can, get it in there. And spin it. Right. Doesn't want to cooperate. Alright, there we go. That guy on there. This spun on here. Alright, tighten it up. There we go. Alright, so now take this guy, flip it back upside down. Now we gotta set this beam and this bracket here on this shock hoop on both sides, like that and like that. There we go. And just spin that bad boy in there. Just like that. Beautiful. Try and get it good. See, it's gotta go right in there, right there, like that. On the other side, on the other shock hoop. These screws will go in from the front only. Sorry guys, I'm trying to hold the phone and get this dang screw in there. It doesn't want to cooperate. And since these are cheap screws, not magnetic like the other screws are, right? Okay. All right. Let's get that dang thing to line up there. Like that. And then now you can screw that sucker in there. Maybe. Damn thing wants to cooperate. There it goes. Alright. Alright, now that that's done. Alright guys, after you get that in there and bolt it on both sides over there, so you'll have your twin I-beam suspension like that. Now the steering rod system is pretty crazy. So you have this rod go on there. See, that's why it has that big old opening. So this rod will go on this first one here. And then this one will go right up, almost hitting it. Then you got your steering one for your steering servo right in the middle. And then this one ties the two together to steer the whole mechanism like that. It's pretty crazy. Guys, so in your kit you also have these brass things right here. Oh, you have two of them. Goes there for your receiver box. And then these little L brackets right here at the bottom of it will be inside the receiver box when you take the lid off. Gotta put screws down in there to mount them, but don't tighten them up till you get it all mounted and then tighten those up. Then these guys right here go on the end of your battery tray, and the screws will come up from underneath. That way your battery doesn't slide out or slide in and hit the tranny or whatever. And then that's really it, man. I mean, take this, spin it around, and that's how it sits right there. Move that steering link, and I mean, it's pretty damn smooth. It looks cool as hell. Watching that twin I-beam suspension move. The back seemed more like springy than the front. The front has some dampening, but I'm gonna put shock oil. I'll take off the rear diff cover, put grease in there because I'm sure there's no grease and all that stuff. But you just set this brass thing just like that right there between this mount and your receiver box like that, and then you run your screw right down it once you get it lined up. So I don't know if that'll line up or not by itself. I don't even tighten these up all the way until I get that little side screw in there like that, you know. See if I can do it with one hand and stuff. So the body I want to run on this, it's gonna be complicated. Let's just put it that way, because I'm sure Shrink RC, and if you don't know who that is, you need to find out, because when you do hard body any kind of hard body on almost any chassis besides like probably comp chassis, but this is based off of a 10.2, 10, basically a 10.3 also off the SSD platform Trail King Pro chassis kit that you can't even buy anymore. This chassis layout design is all those, and he makes really nice 3D printed hard body mounts to mount stuff. He makes cowl induction hoods, hood scoops. He makes dually fenders. He makes door panels like I have on this. Oh, I don't know if you can. No, you can't see it, but there's. Let me try and get this out so you guys can see it a little better, maybe. So there's a door panel there. I don't know if you guys could see that or not, but you know, I cut the doors open. This is on a SCX10 Pro chassis kit, and I use the SSD Trail King Pro sliders with shrink RC mounts to mount this body on it. I got it to work. I just got to drill one hole in the frame for the slider to bolt up into it, but I'm not worried about that right now. But anyway, that's essentially this whole kit on where stuff goes and how to build it, since they don't give you instructions. And then you just use your little screws like that to put your receiver box lid on there. It's just this thing's gonna be a lot more complicated now with the body and what I want to do with this, because all of this has got to come out. It sucks the servo mounts here to that middle arm right here, that middle link right in the middle of this stuff. I'm sure I can move, well, I can't move it because how those are designed. So I wanted to set the servo right here in the very front. And you ask why? Well, I wanted to, if this stuff won't fall, I wanted to set the scale motor in the front and get either the SSD Trail King scale transmission or the RC 4-wheel drive R4 scale transmission right there and put this in here. But then the other dilemma I got, or put this LS in it, make it all LS right there. I mean, I probably still could maybe put it on the servo, but I don't know. But I wanted to LS swap it with a scale transmission and make this a scale looking rig. But we got, this can come out easily. We got the skid issue with mounting the transmission. Maybe not with the SSD. That might work, but you have to have the T case for it to mount. And maybe, I don't know. These are going to be an issue, because I'd have to mount these to the frame, and then that's going to throw off the geometry because these bolt into this right here, into the beam. So unless I can flip them and set this one where, you know how it curves up and in. If I set this, flip flop them, set this one on that side, it'll, you know what I mean, curve and then go against the rail maybe, and then I can bolt it to the rail and then get the right transmission mount that goes up over the tranny and screws into the top of the transmission, and then have the mount go here and here where these are at, and then this, I'd have to figure out this servo mount, what I would do. Have to get something 3D printed or what, you know, I don't know. But anyway, here is the chassis all put together, all built and everything. Looks pretty rad. I like it. Those are all the extra screws. I just don't know why it has those top holes on those I-beams. Maybe it's to do, a dual shock. Because see, there's that hole. There's still another hole there. Oh man, I wonder. I should grab a shock and test that theory out. So you could put like a longer, probably dampening shock if you wanted. Let me get this shock. Oh yeah, it has a real stiff spring in there, but you get the gist of it. You can mount dual shocks on this thing, on the front anyway, not the rear. But yeah, that's the whole kit there. Done up, and then stupid seat. Then I want to put this blazer body on here. I'll have to pop this little sleeper cab thing off of it. But I wanted to put this blazer body on it and put the blazer cap back on it. It's just the wheelbase ain't gonna line up on this truck. So I'd have to figure out that too. But yeah, I don't know. We'll figure it out as we get there. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Haven't done a build video in a long time, and I figured this would be the perfect candidate as this pre-runner chassis off of eBay. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully it helps you build yours if you haven't built yours already.